Okay, so people have been wanting me to read on JISOO since she has an album coming up. We got insights into how she feels about BLACKPINK, the other members, dating, her new music, and what she wants for the future. This reading was on the longer side, but honestly, JISOO is pretty complex as a person. Tell me what you think in the comments below, leave a like or dislike. Remember, I offer personal readings, link in the description, and of course, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go! Okay. Queen of Pentacles, the Seven Swords, the World. She showed up as the Queen of Pentacles, which would be like lack of nurturing, lack of caring in some way. The Seven of Swords, sometimes I can talk about like honesty or like relieving yourself, especially if you like lied in some way. For example, I'm not saying she has done that. The World is completion though, but sometimes they can also talk about like a cycle. The Fool also talks about like the beginning of something, but the Fool can talk about a lot of things, to be honest. A fight, rest, and relaxation. I don't feel like JISOO feels particularly cared for. I can't tell you in what way. It feels like she doesn't feel cared for in her work or career in some way. Especially because, this is interesting because we got two swords cards, but the Seven of Swords would be, in the upper position, it's like sometimes talking about betrayal, like lies, deceit, or something like that. In the reverse position, it would be like the relieving of that in some way. And also the Seven of Swords is facing the World card, which is all looking at her. Oh, in some way, JISOO feels like she's gotten the short end of the stick. I guess this would have to do with BLACKPINK, because the reason why I say that is she feels like she got the short end of the stick, and it's related to other people that she's worked with before. So I guess, that could be literally anything, but like she's most known for BLACKPINK, but that could also be like any of like the movie sets that she's worked on. But the thing is, it seems like a small group of people, so it would be tight-knit in some way. Anyway, we'll figure it out as we go, I guess, but let's go back. So this card can talk about like a completion essentially, and then we got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position. So the Wheel of Fortune is also it's like a type of cycle or circle or something, and the Devil talks about toxicity and being chained to something. I have a feeling that she's like repeating old cycles again, and that's why she's not reaching the level of fulfillment or happiness that I think she expects. Like oddly, like energetically, I think I'm in her energy right now, but it's like I feel blocked and frustrated, but like I like can't pinpoint like why, if that makes sense. Especially because the Fool is, she got this card, and this is the beginning of the whole tarot deck, so it's like a 0. She's gotten a lot of like round circle things. She also got the Queen of Pentacles, which is like looking at something like very lovingly and very nurturingly. There's something that she really wants and she can't get it. She's repeating circles over and over again. She feels unsupported in some way. It's weird though, because this isn't like strong energy. It's like, I feel like, JISOO to me, if I'm tapping into her energy right now, she's very, like, kind of happy-go-lucky, but, like, I feel like sometimes it's, like, two energies that are opposing each other with her, where it's, like, she wants to be somebody who is really, like, driven and pursues things, but she also likes to take it easy, and I think she struggles with that. I would love to see her astrology chart, because I feel like that would be in there, whatever. She's caught in some sort of, like, a cycle, and, like, she also got the Five of Pentacles, which would be, like, help, except that where she's asking for help is not where she should be looking for it, if that makes sense. It would be like asking for like going back to like an ex that was really toxic and like asking them to like fix your car, and it's like you could ask literally anyone in the world. Why are you gonna ask him? That's kind of what the energy is giving. I can't for the life of me parse apart what this is talking about. That's JISOO. She's the Queen of Swords typically. I think it's not that cliche, because like that is her job as being BLACKPINK, but I think it's related to BLACKPINK in some way, because she's the Queen of Swords, which is somebody who is very smart, kind of grounded, good communicating. I don't know what her astrology sign is, my bad, but Capricorn? I don't know. So she's facing this, which is like collaboration. Oh, I think this has to do with BLACKPINK's comeback. I feel like there's something about it that's in her way. The more I read for all the BLACKPINK girls, the more I think I understand parts of the contracts that they signed. And they all had different contracts, which is why negotiations took forever, because all of their contracts could like permit them to do different things, etc. But also it's like the contracts with BLACKPINK that they all signed to like continue to be in BLACKPINK were pretty similar, but there's something about that that's getting in the way of what JISOO wants to do, or in some ways she finds it to be unfair. Isn't quite the word I'm looking for, but it's the best word I can think of right now. Anyway, she's unhappy or displeased in some way about that. I think maybe she views BLACKPINK as almost holding her back, but it's not as clear cut as that. I don't want that to be the main thing. I think it's because she feels like Blackpink. I think she has a different vision. I think a lot of people view Jisoo as being kind of like hands off with Blackpink, and I think a lot of people have always thought that, and that's not necessarily true. Like, I think for a lot of people, if you asked a fan in like 2019, it's like, who do you think is the one that writes the most for Blackpink or has bigger aspirations for Blackpink? You would think it would be like Jennie or Rose. Because Rose was often seen like singing songs or whatever, and there's been stories of Jennie like, you know, writing, etc. Jisoo actually has had back then, but it just wasn't like aired out, I guess, in like their documentaries and interviews and stuff. But she has a direction or vision for Blackpink, and it's hard because YG's really stubborn about that. And I think because they still can't exercise a lot of control over Blackpink, even in their new contract, I get that impression that they are still pretty like subject to the whims of YG, and I guess Teddy, if Teddy's gonna work on their next album, IDK. But she feels trapped in some way around that. Almost like she can only go so far, but she's tethered to the IP that is Blackpink and like what they do as Blackpink together. Even though it's like she wants to evolve in a lot of different ways, but it's like, to me, when I'm in Jisoo's energy, what it seems like is like she feels like she can't evolve because she's so tied in with Blackpink and Blackpink doesn't evolve. Is the energy, and I feel like it's hard for her to parse those two things apart. And I think it would be probably for you too, you know? It's like if you're stuck at a job and you're like, but I want to also be like, I don't know, like a travel writer or something, and it's like, well, but I have an office job in like, you know, Missouri. Kind of the vibe, because this is also like, I think and the other thing I really need to hammer home, and probably should have earlier on, is I think she likes the girls. I think she is the most affectionate towards them. I think she has the best relationships with all of Blackpink. She is kind of like the thing that holds them together, I would say. She has the best relationships. She doesn't have animosity towards the girls. She doesn't think the girls hold her back. It's odd though, because like, I don't know, Jisoo in general I think just has like colder energy, would be the way to describe it. She's super loving, but just kind of hands off. I don't know how to describe this, but anyway, very grounding energy as well. Very like diplomatic. Like if I were to assign a color to Jisoo, it would be like a deep blue. If that helps you understand. Whatever, anyway. So, she's not like, she likes the girls. She likes working with, you know, Jennie, Rose, and Lisa. She doesn't like the IP that is Blackpink. She doesn't really necessarily resonate entirely. I think just because she's kind of outgrown some of the things that Blackpink does. And let's be real, Blackpink hasn't really changed all that much from debut and like what they do and what they look like and what the sound is. I mean, it might, this upcoming album, but it's odd because the energy is not giving that, because I think they are actually working on that album currently, or have almost like wrapped up that aspect of it. Whatever, anyway. But this is like working at the wrong something. I think that agitates her almost. Okay. That can be the internet, communication sometimes. It's just sort of like a lot of things coming at you. Her album's gonna be great. Because this is like the releasing of, I think she's been very worried about her album. She's dropping an album, right? It's not just a song. She's been very worried about that, but more so worried in the sense of like how the public views her. I think the public views her, isn't incorrect. I don't think she disagrees with it, but it's almost like, it's like we don't know a lot about Jisoo. That's how she feels. She's like, you guys don't know enough, I guess, about like who I am, my energy, my essence. This spread so far to me would indicate that people are gonna really like what she releases. If in my mind's eye, and I'm not saying like I agree with this, but in my mind's eye, you know, like a poll or something. So it's sort of like if we were to poll people on who they like most out of Blackpink when it comes to their music and just what they're doing as soloists, it's like Jisoo's stock is gonna go up a lot after this album. People are gonna be like, oh, I didn't know she could do that. That's kind of what the vibe is. She feels like she's wasting time in Blackpink. But again, it's not as like mean as that. It's just sort of like, and she really likes the girls. She likes working with them. If like they wanted to start a new group, she would be like, yeah, like I'll work with you guys again. It's something having to do with just like what Blackpink is, I guess. I don't know. Because the 10 of Pentacles is looking back at your life satisfied, but the reverse would be like regret of some sort, especially with how time is spent. Time or resources, but time is a resource. The Knight of Cups is like emotions, but it's like being emotionally ill-equipped. Or like there's not a lot of growth. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time. She doesn't feel like she grows a lot when she's in Blackpink doing Blackpink things in Blackpink world. I think she really, and I think it's tough because she enjoys being with the girls. She enjoys performing with the girls. She enjoys performing. She does enjoy singing. I see that very clearly. She also likes to act too. She's actually very complicated. I don't think out of all of the girls you would necessarily peg her as the most complicated, but she is. It's how I think she's one of those people where how she appears is different from when you start to get to know her. She's also incredibly smart. She's super smart. I think she has a lot of self-control and self-awareness, but she doesn't always know how to direct that, which is really interesting. 10 of Swords would be like, to me right now, it seems almost kind of like pinned down, essentially. burden, the releasing of a burden, strategizing, trying to plan, Queen of Wands. I think Jisoo's kind of competitive. It's hard to explain because it's not competitive in the same way where it's sort of like, how do I explain this? It's not competitive in the sense that like she's like, I want to be better than Jenny and Rose and Lisa. Like, it's not like that. It's more just like she wants to be like just it. Not an it girl. She just wants to be big and huge. She wants to like see her name everywhere. She wants to see her face everywhere. She just wants to like have an impact and be kind of like just like shining, I guess. I feel like she really enjoys solo endeavors, but she also enjoys being with the girls as long as she can be like distinct in that as well. So it's sort of like we are 4 people. I actually think it's really beneficial that JISOO was in such a small group. If she was in a larger group, I think she would have struggled a lot. I think she drew, like, genuinely. I feel like it's really good that, like, BLACKPINK was specifically 4 members because they're all so distinct and people just kind of gravitate towards whichever one. So no one ever gets lost in the mix. It's really hard to. Why did we get a burden, though? I feel like something's going to come back up from Jisoo's past. This seems, again, related to work in some way. It's something, that'll cause, like, disagreements or arguments. I don't know. She'll come out of it stronger. I think she's kind of in a phase, because the very beginning of this reading was, like, her getting caught up in cycles. She'll get, like, something will release or break in that cycle that will allow her to progress further. I think she has to confront something. It seems like a person. It seems like a man, if I'm honest, and it seems like a man that's older than her in some way, but like keeps her stuck. If it's not a man, it's masculine energy or energy that has a lot of power and authority. And again, this feels like in her career in some way. It's like she has a really tough conversation, almost like setting a boundary. It'll be really petty though, because this man seems kind of like prideful. It'll help her in the long run. I think Jisoo seems like somebody who, if we were to fast forward, like, I don't know, to her being like 50, I could see her owning like a company or like organizing people in some way. She seems like she is very diplomatic. Right now, I mean, like, obviously she like wants to be a star and like is acting and is singing, but I could see her in the future in some way being in charge of that type of thing. Apprehension, King of Swords. This is exactly what I was just saying, because this is like apprehension, having boundaries, King of Swords, which would be Loki. The King of Swords often is YG, which is funny because Hybe is usually the King of Pentacles, YG is usually the King of Swords, but this is like being stuck in some way or being trapped in some way. I mean, I've been trying to dance around this because I always say this, but it literally pops up almost every reading with almost every idol. In some way, she feels trapped is a heavy word. She feels like blocked by her company in some way. I don't know if like K-pop idol contracts are just like absolutely crazy, but there's something about that. Anyway, let's ask about her dating life, because a lot of people asked me. Okay, so dating. Looking back, dissatisfied. The Empress. Lack of like feminine energy, lack of taking care of yourself, defensiveness, burden, the releasing of it, choices. I feel like Jisoo feels unlucky in love in some way. She feels unsupported in love in her relationships, specifically with like dating other people. She got a lot of wand energy too, which is like, wands is like a passion, drive, fire, energy. In the reverse position, it would be the lack of that. I feel like she thinks per her energy, per the cards, it seems like she gives more than she gets in relationships in some way. I also feel like she is somebody that's actually a bit particular or specific about the people that she's dating. She's kind of cool, like, who she appears, at least like for me and what I know about BLACKPINK, which is like the group I love the most. How she appears on stage and in interviews is so different. Like, she's like, I know what I want, like, this is what I want. Like, her ideal partner is somebody who is smart, like strong, I don't know how to just like, she needs somebody who's like strong and like very masculine. I mean, I don't want to peg her as somebody who exclusively dates guys, but that's kind of the energy that it's giving. She like strongly wants to like a masculine guy that is smart and like, I don't know, she feels like energetically it's like she feels let down by at least the people that she's dated, but I also feel like the people who are like in her orbit that like want to date her, if that makes sense. I also feel like she feels like, because the Empress in the reverse sort of position would be like her feeling like she is has to be more masculine, like she's forced to be the man in situations where it's like, I wish I had like a counterpart that could like take up that masculine energy so I don't have to do it. King of Cups, Page of Cups, the past. I don't know the people she's dated, I'll be honest. She dated one guy, right? And there's rumors currently she's with another guy. This would be in the past, though. There was one guy, I feel like he appeared very emotionally stable, and he was actually really emotionally unstable and kind of immature. I think she gets baited and switched a lot. At least that's how she views it. It's like who people appear to her are not who, that would be Queen of Wands. She just doesn't feel appreciated in her relationships for some reason. Knight of Cups. I don't know if Jisoo, I say this with peace and love, I don't necessarily feel like Jisoo responds well to like emotional guys or really kind of like emotional people. Jisoo is very like too just like, let's cut to the chase, let's get this done, like, you know, everybody like carry their own weight. Like, she's so interesting. She like she's super lovely, she's very playful, she's obviously very feminine, but she's also just kind of like, I don't know how to describe this. What I keep seeing in my mind's eye is like a sword or like an arrow. Like, she's just very determined and very decisive. That's how I would describe Jisoo. She's like the color dark blue, and she's very determined, and it's like her she's like silver, she's like icy, but she's, I don't know, energetically I think she's cool as fuck. The other really funny thing is, like, when I read for the other girls, when I read for Lisa, for example, all of her readings are very long because there's just a lot of information, and it's kind of easy to read for Lisa with the cards. When I read for, because Lisa gives a lot of energy. When I read for Jenny, it's very to the point. It's very straightforward. It's very like, this is this and that's that, and her readings are really quick. When I read for Rosie, it's hard, like, it's nebulous, but it's short. Like, she just doesn't want to give a lot of information away. Jisoo, it's like an enigma. It's so hard to understand, like, what's going on, like, energetically. Because, like, and this is true for, at least for me, I don't know if this works for other people who read, but for me, it's like, some people are, it's their energy is very willing to, like, give you stuff, and for other people, it's, like, very hesitant, or very, like, whatever. For Jisoo, it's sort of, like, it's almost like you have to work to, like, get information from her, which is hilarious. I think she has Scorpio strongly in her chart, because she's giving that right now, but it's like, no, you have to, like, earn it. She cracks me up. Energetically, she's so funny. Anyway, I feel like she's been dissatisfied in terms of intimacy as well. It seems like she's been dissatisfied with the guys and how much they give effort to her. And in all ways, she feels unhappy. But to me, it also doesn't seem like she's with anyone currently. She just seems like she wants to, like, have fun, but not like not even in like a dating way. She just kind of likes to flirt with people. Like, she'll go to dinner for sure, but like, she just kind of like, Jisoo is somebody where it's like, she really needs to ensure that you're like good enough for her. Honestly, like, straight up. Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Okay, I'm gonna ask a little bit about her album. Jisoo's album. The Hanged Man. I think it'll be unexpected. The sound that she chooses, I think, will be unexpected. That's tough to say, though, because in my mind's eye, I keep picturing her flower music video, but again, like, what she came out with her solo was really unexpected and kind of out of left field of Blackpink's typical sound. Whatever she releases, though, I think it'll make us understand Jisoo better. I don't know, I just feel like she's very elusive, so it's like, whatever she comes out with, I think people will be very fascinated by. I don't know if it'll be a smash hit in the way where it's like breaking records left and right, but it'll be something that's like really fascinating. I think there will be substance to it. Is the word that comes to mind. The Fool, though. The Page of Pentacles. The Fool would be like naivety, but sometimes it can also be maturity. The Page of Pentacles would be like money, especially when it comes to like a young person, but it would be money that is like the loss of it, or maybe not making as much as you would expect. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles, which is like working at the wrong something, beating your craft at the wrong something. But it's all yellow, though, and yellow can talk about joy. The Emperor, this will displease a man in power, or it will displease the industry at large. I don't know what's going on. Ten of Cups would be unhappiness, and the Five of whatever. I love Jisoo. Whatever she releases, I think somebody has been in her ear. This would be, I don't know what company Jisoo's currently signed to, but it would be like somebody in power in one way or another that's telling her, like, no, like, you should release something else, like, we should maybe revamp this. And she's very committed. Jisoo is actually very willful and very strong. Like, she'll be like, no, like, this is what I want. And most of the time, I think that's what's kind of confusing to people, is most of the time Jisoo just doesn't really care. But if she cares, she's gonna, like, get what she wants. She'll be like, no, I'm going for this. Like, what are you talking about? But I feel like someone's trying to guide her or direct her to do something differently with her. It could be the music itself, it could be the aesthetic, it could also be the album rollout. And I feel like she should listen to them if she wants to be successful. But also, it's like, to your own self, be true. And that's what she's doing. What she's releasing is what she wants to be releasing. She's like, no, like, I've been told what to, ooh, this is her talking. I hear it's like, I've been told what to do my whole life. This is what I want to do. which I think would be the biggest success over, you know, commercial success. Collaboration. We got this card like earlier in the reading. That's so weird because this is the Three of Pentacles, which is collaboration. But this can sometimes talk about sabotage. And then the Page of Wands is like misguided aggressions. What? But this could see, it's almost like someone on her team. Death, a rebirth, unhappiness. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. You know what I think might happen? I think upon release, everything Blackpink does is a big deal. So I think it will appear like it's doing really well. But I could also see a lot of critics for this album. I could see the people she worked with or maybe the industry not necessarily being particularly pleased. But what I do also see is this becoming a cult classic. Whatever she releases, like this will be something that is referenced a lot. It'll have like a cult following. People will be like, oh my god, this is also, it kind of seems like people outside of just like the K-pop sphere, like what she releases is going to be, you know what it's kind of like? You remember Charlie XCX and like Brat Summer? It would be something kind of like that, or more so just like what Charlie XCX has released, where it's like it's got like a cult vibe to it. People who get it are going to get it and they're going to like it and they're going to love it, which is interesting. But I could see this then becoming financially successful. Off the bat, it's not going to be though. I don't know if it's going to be beyond, of course, like everything Blackpink does is a hit, but it's not going to be an organic hit where people like the song because it's a good song. But and again, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm not saying it's a flop. But there's something about it. There's a lot of like conflict behind the scenes. But like again, I think there's something to be noted about JISOO being like, this is what I want to release. I'm going to release it. This is what I want it to sound like and look like. This is what I'm going to be doing. I think she had to kind of put her foot down and fight a little bit. Also, I think she's been working on this for a long time. It seems like it's been in the year in the making at least for her, like producing and making. This doesn't seem like, at least the concepts that are going to be in the music don't seem like they've been rushed. It seems like something she's mulled over for a while. Vibe. I do think it actually, it's hard to say. I think at the end of the day, like the numbers, if you look back at her album, will be like, oh, like that did commercially well. But I think the discourse around it as the album is like freshly out is not going to be positive. But like in the end, it'll like prove to be a very good album. She's so cool. Honestly, thank you.